Greetings, good people, love and honor. Just wanted to touch base, at the end of the day, anything you do is for others. Once it's for others, you can't lose. So we're going to touch on health. But I guess when people think of health, they think about their physical body only. I mean, there's so many aspects, the creator shows us abundance in everything. There's no one way, there are many ways. But I always feel like the first way is to discipline the mind. The mind is the most powerful, just like I tell my youths. The mind is the most powerful. So, if you can have control of that, you can accomplish what you may. I'm a herbalist. I deal with herbs, but not in the same way that I think everybody else does. Because for one, I don't have a lab. So what I realize is that in everything you do, so that there are no disagreements and no confusion, no arguments or fights, there has to be a common denominator. So I always try to let the plane go by. I always try to attain the lowest common denominator first. And there's plus and minuses, go from there. So the way I look at it, when we're dealing with herbs, these herbs have been around for thousands of years, many centuries. So a lot of people say that they're roots. So if you're roots, what you do now, you have to trust those indigenous tribes, ancestors, ancient tribes, because how they attained the knowledge of the herbs is through trial and error, and these things take thousands of years. Because these herbs were used traditionally, modern man goes into these areas, go into these lands, and then they realize that these tribes don't suffer from certain ailments, as compared to their societies. So what they do now, they go and investigate these herbs, and then that is when they find the percentages of minerals and so on and so forth. So the lowest common denominator is trial and error. If you believe in your history, you trust the traditions of those ancients, and that is how we come to know that these herbs are good for us. A lot of people, they get over psychedelic with the herbs. To me, they're like wizards. You have to be careful of those wizards. What they do is they put a smoke screen in front of you and then they hide. So their magic is out there working, but they're hiding. They can't show their face. For them, it's not about unifying. It's not about roots. Roots spread out. Some of them even have roots in their business title. But roots spread out. Some of them even have black in their title. But these guys are wizards. But not to hate anybody, because at the end of the day, if you create a compound and it is helping people and people are getting what they want from it, well, that's a good thing, because we want our people, our society, our populace to be strong. So my approach to herbs is mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all aspects. Healing is not just for your body. Healing is for your existence, you know. So in life we go through transitions, and if you can transition with a purity or a cleanliness, that means your continued existence will be powerful. You know, this is my first vid for the Chef Herbs Blends, so I want to make sure that I pay homage to certain ones who have been ridiculed and killed for their philosophy, ideologies, or their levity, you know. So the Rastafari tribe, those men have been saying the herbs is the healing for the nation for some time now. They never get credit because everybody always look at them as just herb smokers. They figure that, oh, they praise different than I praise, so I disagree. But all of a sudden now everybody's alkaline. So we want to pay homage to the Rastafari, especially here in the West, in the Western Hemisphere. So they get a salute, you know. So I know Dr. Sebi is a hot topic, has been for some time now. I learned about Dr. Sebi in the 90s. I know he's the singular face of herbalism. I respect and love the people who leave a strong legacy behind to help their people to progress. But I can't put it all on him because he was made popular, or he was marketed a particular way, or he marketed himself a particular way. We can't forget the other men and women who've been doing this vibes for a long time. You know, a lot of people have been killed for doing this vibes, because when you deal with medicine, you deal with big money, you know, and people are not concentrating on cures. They're concentrating on a band-aid, you know, and when you rip off the band-aid, you still have an infection and you have to live out your life taking certain things. Now with the herbs, there's nothing wrong with taking herbs for your lifetime, because what you're doing is supplementing your body with minerals. You know, it is always good to maintain certain vibes. So back to the mentality. You know, you go into your supermarket, you see a lot of heavy-set people. Not saying that some of them aren't healthy or whatever the case may be, but you can imagine that inside they wish for better, but they simply don't know. This is why as many herbalists as you see out there, there's still not enough, because there are billions of people in the world who eat improperly, and you know, they still don't get it. Like, I have friends that don't drink water. They figure it make them sick. So they're not thinking that there are different types of water per se, although they know that, but sometimes things don't click. It doesn't synchronize for them to make sense of it. So there's nothing wrong with you encouraging people to eat a particular way. Now, you may have a person who eats meat all their life and live to be 80, 90. Like my grandmother, you know, they may not overindulge, or their body's just able to accept these things because of who they are as an individual. We also have to remember that everybody has a different metabolism. Everybody has a different makeup. You know, we're one people, yes, but then they're different blood types. You know, they're different strains. So our bodies adapt. Our bodies adapt to certain things, and generationally, you know, we adapt to certain things because of where we live, and our body gets used to it, and the body is dynamic. The body can adjust over time, and especially through generations, it becomes a thing. You know, it builds up something where it can maintain itself and still protect itself from what maybe, let's say, an average person may not be able to withstand. So, first vid, just wanted to touch on health. We have to respect those herbalists out there trying to do their best to show people a certain vibes. I wasn't active for a long time, and I realized that, I didn't eat meat for years, but then I ate a lot of carbs still indulged in dairy to a degree where pizza is concerned. But then what I can suggest is that we have to continue to build relationships with our body. We still have to kind of know ourselves. We have to build relationships. We have to speak to ourselves in our mind. Okay, let me cut one thing out and see how it affects my body. If you want to achieve a certain look, mentality, certain type of confidence. So in the last few years, I've been getting back out there, trying to be more active, a little jogging, exercising, eating a little bit better, cutting out certain things that I may like or love or I'm used to. Because at the end of the day, all herbalists are flesh and blood too. And the compound or the blends that they have, that is not the only thing. A good thing I can suggest is to eat with the cycle of the sun. When the sun rises in the morning, it is not as intense. So that means eating at that time should not be intense. First thing when you wake is to drink water to lubricate and hydrate your body. As the sun gets hotter and rays into the heavens directly above, or its most intense time between 12 and 3, that's when you eat your heaviest meal, because the sun is telling you, I'm at full force now. And as it wanes down into the evening, you once again eat lightly. And once the sun sets and it's nighttime, you definitely eat lightly. A lot of us, we may eat properly, eat well, but then we still eat late. So our body is continuously having to break down food. And then when we put in more food, the body doesn't have enough time to expel what is there, because it has to process this new thing coming into the warehouse. So what does it do? It stores that food that was already there. It tucks it away, and that's why we have these problem areas, these fatty areas, because we continuously eat and our body can't process it in time. So what we got to try to do is, people talk about fasting intermittently. I agree. Sometimes you have to give your body a break. You have to think of it. If you eat 2 meals a day, 3 meals a day for years and years, you can cut out a meal. It's not going to kill you. You can cut out 2. You can even cut out a day. And then bigger than that, you can cut out a day out of the week, or 2 days out of a week, or a few days out of a month, and then focus on fruits and liquids. Make your smoothies with highly electric foods, and it will pay off over time. We watch a lot of kung fu movies, and you always hear about the Buddhist temples. Now, from my knowledge, not knowing the fullness, but they abstain from killing, they abstain from eating meat. And this is why you notice the Buddhists, they have like a priestly order, and they're able to do dynamic things with the body. They're able to meditate and focus. That's so military. Yes, I'm man in the cut, So you have to pay homage to certain ones around the earth. It doesn't have to be of your race. I would advise, no matter what race you are, you stand firm in exactly who you are. As long as you're not hurting anyone. We have to find a way to contribute to this world positively and leave a good legacy that our friends, family, communities can benefit from. So healing, it is good. Dealing with these herbal products, and these herbal medicines, it is good. Because at some point you have to say to yourself, the world has been over-processed so much that we have to meet a balance. There has to be a medium. It may not happen in our lifetime, but obviously will continue to exist. But then we have to carry certain traits so we can have an efficient existence henceforth. You know? So yeah, Chef Herbs Blends. I'll be doing more videos just to touch base. I'm not going to burst y'all head with no super psychedelic. It's basic. You know? Support your herbalists out there. Their life is on the line. Trust and believe that they're being watched. But you know, I said to myself, I'm gonna put my face out there. I'm not gonna have no fear at this point, you know. Everybody has to see themselves as a child of the Most High. We understand that this world, the way it is designed, it was engineered by thought and preparation. It can be no other way. Because the makeup of water is the makeup of water. The makeup of whatever we have is exactly what it is. And when we see the consistency so abundant in everything, in every makeup, you say to yourself, it is deliberately so. It could never be by an accident. You know? So yeah, do a little thing every day. The lymphatic system is a system that you need to exercise and sweat to get rid of certain types of impurities. Burdock root is good for that type of stuff, you know. Sarsaparilla, very high in iron. So I realized, you know, I've been coming across a lot of people that say their iron is low, you know, like they're anemic and stuff like that. So rather than use a drug that has detrimental side effects for whatever issue, I would advise people to do their own little research and utilize the herbs literally put here for us to use in any dispensation, no matter how modern the people want to be, no matter how they want to. You know, we enjoy man and his intelligence, but if your intelligence can't help people and reduce risk, that means you have to go back to the drawing board. But obviously, the Creator dwells in perfection. So, there are perfect things out there for us, and we just have to utilize them. Big shout out to Body Right Tonic in Atlanta, Bittersweet Herbals in Atlanta, Chef Herbs Blends, signing out for now. I'ma drop more. Blessed love. Love and honor every time.